I'm Brendan King with Jimmy Cook and Eddie Garrison. I can tell you there's one particular listener right now that is enjoying this, and that is my mother, Laura King. She is a proud Illinois State Redbird alum. I grew up on some Illinois State basketball. And the man, the great head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds, Ryan Pedon, is now joining us on the guest line, brought to you by the Mower Shop in Fishers and themowershop.com for all your snowblowers, commercial and residential mowers, plus service and power tools. The Redbirds coming to Indy. That's on Saturday afternoon at 2:30 to take on Michael Lewis's Ball State Cardinals at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in the Indy Classic. Should be a lot of fun. Coach Pedon, it's Brendan. Great to catch up with you. I was actually going to Butler while you were an assistant coach under Chris Holtman, and I was the kid in the dog pound that wore that corduroy blue suit. So some great memories from my senior year when you guys went to the Sweet 16. And obviously, congratulations to you on getting the head coaching job at Illinois State. I'm sure you're looking forward to coming back to Indy this weekend.
Hey, Brendan, great to be with you. And yes, we are. We're very much excited to be bringing our team over to Indianapolis. I've got a great affinity for the city and the facility there. That's my favorite non-home arena that I've ever coached in. And I've been over there many times before. So I love the ambiance, the stage there in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and I'm looking forward to now bringing our ball club over there and giving them an opportunity to play in a world-class facility.
Coach, I know you got the job shortly after March Madness last year when you and the Buckeyes went to the tournament, but I guess since you arrived in Normal, Coach Pedon, anything that you really set as goals in the summer that you've been happy with so far through the first portion of the campaign?
Well, I wanted to keep things fairly simple and straightforward with our team in year one. I don't want to try to be good at 50 different things. I want to be really, really bought in and committed at the things that we feel are most important to winning and that correlate most to winning. And, I've told our guys since the moment we congregated there in early June as a team was I want our team to keep their eyes on maximizing the ability that's in that locker room, which we control. And I want to create the most committed locker room in college basketball. And both of those are, in my view, are choices, choices that we make as a group. They're not dependent on anyone else. And I've been very pleased with the buy-in, the commitment to being who we want to be. We certainly haven't been perfect, far from it, but we've got a locker room that's very bought in and committed to what we're trying to do here on a daily basis. And as a coach, I think that's all you can ask for.
Coach, it's Jimmy. Thanks again for making time for us today. Since the loss to Murray State, 3 straight wins for your club heading into the Indy Classic. What have you learned from your group the most over that stretch of 3 wins?
Well, and the 3 wins, they've all been fairly different games and highly different systems and opponents that we face. But I think the 2 things that stand out to me over the last 3 games are our ability to rebound the basketball. That's greatly improved since the first 5 or 6, 7 games, and that was something that was really hindering us. And secondly is our ability to take care of the basketball. So both of those correlate to winning possessions. And over the course of a game, the way I view it, you're winning possessions or you're losing possessions. And unfortunately, those 2 areas were biting us quite a bit early and contributing to our losses, especially in the close games. Now, we've come down the stretch here and been able to win games in the second half, and in the last couple, really win games down the stretch in the last 4 to 8 minutes. So, proud of our guys and their progress, but we got a long way to go. We're a work in progress, like a lot of teams are this time of year. But we've showed some real good, encouraging signs here in terms of moving our team forward in the right direction.
The head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds, Ryan Pedon, is with us. Myself, Brendan King, and Jimmy Cook. Coach Pedon, the last W coming against SIUE 77-71, and as mentioned, my mom's an alum, so I know how much Horton Fieldhouse means to the Normal community. I saw your little promo video about getting the students out and wanted a big crowd at Horton. So how was that? How was the environment? And clearly ended up being a big win. It
was awesome. It was, I think, way more than any of us that had not seen a game or been to a game in Horton, more than us, would have even anticipated. And the crowd was awesome. Our students came out like never before. They were tremendous, and it was a really electric atmosphere. SIUE is a very good team, really good. A team that's probably flying way under the radar. Very well coached. Brian Baroni does a great job, and they've got some older dudes that are really talented. They got a couple guards that can go get you buckets. So we had great respect for them, and the atmosphere in our arena really helped us, no doubt about it. Helped propel us there, especially in the second half. And they were treated to a great ball game. But just being in there, kind of waking up the echoes of the past, having Doug Collins in the house in the front row, and he was there for probably 48 hours and had talked to our team, walked us through the facility, talked about his game day routine to our team. It was really a unique experience for all of us, and it was a real treat to be able to play in there and come away with a hard-fought win.
Coach, I know you have fond memories of being in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and for a lot of us as fans and people that cover events at Gainbridge, we appreciate high-quality college hoops taking place in that building. With this being the inaugural Indy Classic, what does it mean for your program as our neighbors to the west to be a part of yet another exciting and hopefully long-term event that the Indiana Sports Corp is putting on?
Well, first of all, we played in there in some different, obviously venues. I played in the Big Ten tournament there multiple times. Played in the Crossroads Classic, which it's a real shame they're not doing that still. To be honest with you, that was a hell of an event.
Yes,
and for all schools involved, I thought, but just experiencing that, the Crossroads. This is not the Crossroads, but a version of it, right? I mean, it's a very similar, I think it's the same weekend or a very similar weekend to when the Crossroads took place.
Yep.
The buzz that was always around the downtown, the people of Indiana and Indianapolis, who I know how they love and appreciate good college basketball. And it was a true NCAA tournament atmosphere when we played in that event. So to play in this Indy Classic, Indiana Sports Corps, Indy Sports Corps does a tremendous job. I know that from my time at Butler and have great respect for their place in the city and in the sports scene in Indianapolis. But it's a privilege to be able to do this. We sure appreciated the invitation, and when we got in discussions with these guys, I said, no questions asked, let's do it. And to be able to now go against a very close friend of mine, Michael Lewis. We were both on staff at Butler together, and I love the guy. He's one of my closest friends in the business. We have his family's Christmas card up on our refrigerator. I'm going to tell him it's I've turned it backwards for this week. So there's a bunch of Christmas cards in one blank card. It's just a white back of a card that's sitting on our refrigerator. I'll have to take a photo for him, but I love Mike and his family, and I don't love playing against them, to be honest with you, but this opportunity was way too good to pass up, and we'll have fun with it. I know we will, and it's a chance for both of us to learn a lot about our teams and a different but unique environment.
Coach, I always love when coaches are able to get an opportunity to lead programs, and you guys obviously both having your first seasons leading programs this year, and you mentioned your close relationship. Can you share a little bit about the communication you guys have had since taking over those programs, or maybe, if not so much in the course of the season, what you guys had following the announcements respectively?
Yeah, we talked quite a bit. Some weeks or months a little bit more than others, but we're sharing we're at similar points here in our coaching journey, both in our first year now programs that are very proud programs, rich in history and tradition, both with tremendous fan bases that are dying to get their programs back to a very highly relevant place and being a championship level, program. And I've had great respect from afar for Ball State and that program for many years. I was in the Mid-American Conference for 13 years as an assistant coach. So I had great respect for their program. And, we've shared a lot of, similar scenarios here. We bounced things off of each other, and as we were getting started with fall workouts or summer workouts. And at our core, Louie and I both, we've had some other experiences along our journey, but at our core, I know the Butler way resonates deeply with inside both of us. And, Butler's has had a profound impact on my family and on my coaching journey here. And, I've learned so much at that place and have such an affinity for it. And my family does as well. It's the only move I've ever made where my wife cried. So we both kind of share a lot of the same basketball values. I know that, and as do all of us, that have coached there at Butler. I just texted Micah Shrewsbury this week after they beat Illinois, and I said the game honors toughness, and that's a saying that's written on the walls underneath the Hinkle Fieldhouse back in the tunnels by our locker room there. That's something that we all kind of hold near and dear to our heart, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Really unique experience here, but to be able to tip it up against Louie and a good friend like that in Gainbridge Fieldhouse, sign me up. I'm fired up, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
The head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds, Ryan Pedon, on the guest line, brought to you by the Mower Shop in Fishers and themowershop.com. I mean, Coach, everything you just said, I love. I mean, as an alum, that all is terrific stuff, and the game honors toughness. A great quote from Brad and what he did at Hinkle Fieldhouse. But, that was a fun team, 2015, 2016, when you and Coach Lou were on staff together going to the round of 32 against Virginia. But as you said, I think everybody knows that you're a high-intensity guy. Coach Lou is a high-intensity guy. So I'm sure, Coach, your practices this week have been pretty high energy because you have to know what you're going to anticipate from a Michael Lewis-led team.
Oh, yeah. He's he's had some great mentors in the business, and I know what Mike stands for, and I know what his teams will be all about, always. And we're going to have to be ready to roll. They're a very skilled team. They're tough. They're physical. They've got an interior presence. I know they'll play through the paint, and we'll have to be really good. There's no doubt about it, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's what an atmosphere on Saturday. I would encourage all fans to, if you haven't bought your tickets yet, buy them. You got the number one team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers, who I have great respect for, and Matt Painter has built that program and continued their history and tradition that they've built up. But Purdue's I love watching them play. But there's so many wonderful lessons there. Kind of, if you do watch them, kind of hidden beneath the surface. They were preseason, not even in the top 25 to my knowledge, and now they're number one in the country. And I admire how they go about their business and the grit and toughness they play with. And Davidson is as we all know is a highly respected program on the national scale. So they've got a first-year head coach as well, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a basketball purist, please come out. It will be a wonderful afternoon of hoops, and we're hoping to help do our part to get that field house rocking.
Coach, last thing from me, you've had a chance to coach in a lot of cool places, Big Ten, Big East, all those years at Ohio State after Butler, but you had a chance to play for a legendary head coach at Worcester and Steve Moore. It's your first year as a head coach, Ryan, so taking over, what has been most different for you, and maybe things you didn't anticipate from going from being an assistant at so many cool places to now taking over a team as a head man for the first time?
Well, it's a good question. I've been an assistant for 21 years, so I've seen a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different situations and at a lot of different levels. I've worked for 5 different head coaches at 6 different institutions. So there's not a lot that I truthfully didn't anticipate walking in the door. What I would say is probably, for me, has been something that's caught my attention and surprised me a little bit is, you have to realize as a head coach, you're constantly setting the temperature in the room and the power that can have over your team. And, as an assistant coach, you're not always thinking through that lens. As a head coach, I think so much of your coaching and teaching and connecting with young people is going to be built on, the things that you're reinforcing daily and the urgency that you're reinforcing those things with. So I've enjoyed that part of it. There's a real psychology to coaching that I appreciate, and I think that I'm always trying to improve in that area as well. I think that the mind controlling the body is so relevant to our sport in particular. It's not maybe like some other sports where you've got a stopwatch or you've got a wide receiver that can run a route and just outrun guys. There's so much that goes into our game, the synergy required and connectedness and commitment required from a small group of guys. I love it. Those are some of the things I love most about coaching. But just walking into the locker room every day and setting that temperature, that's something that is completely different. Being in the head coaching chair as opposed to being an assistant coach, and I love it. And trying to embrace that at the highest level and improve this team day by day.
Well, Coach, we'll continue looking forward to watching your continued success, and we wish you the best of luck against the Cardinals on Saturday afternoon, Coach Pedon.
Awesome, guys. We're looking forward to it. Redbird Nation will be over there, very spirited way, and plan on representing our university in a first-class way. So we're fired up to be there and look forward to seeing everybody in Indy on Saturday.
Love it. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That is Ryan Pedon, the head coach at Illinois State, on the guest line, brought to you by the Mower Shop in Fishers and themowershop.com for all your snow blowers, commercial, residential mowers, plus service and power tools. Jimmy, I was about to cry when he was going over the Butler Way stuff. Goodness gracious.